Hello everyone, welcome to the new video. This is especially for those people who work in the sales of coatings. Now, the typical job descriptions for coating sales people are related to mainly the financial aspects. Hence, if you just look at these job descriptions, you will see aspects related to cold calling or sales targets or the profitability objectives and the software related to such financial aspects, and usually they will have some kind of requirement for a financial background. So the educational qualifications that they need include an MBA, and they will also prefer people who have a background in paints and polymers or chemical or chemistry. However, there are many salespeople who are not of these backgrounds. They may be of mechanical or a completely different background, which are out of which this is not, which are not given over here. As a result, they are not really familiar with the coatings and how the coatings work when they start their job. Hence, a general TDS for a polyurethane coating has very similar language. So you would have the two component, you would have something with the glossy finish, so that would mean that it's bright, and then you would also have a high solids product, so that's similar to having 100% solids. So these are the aspects that do not really differentiate between the two types of coatings. Hence, in that case, it gets a bit difficult to see how to find which is a better polyurethane coating or which is more suited to the application. So in this case, you will usually have two categories of people that you would want to sell your coating to. The first category is where you are the person who is going to recommend the coating. They want you to do the best recommendation based on the properties and the vast selection of coatings that you would usually have. The second is people who already know what polyurethane coating is, who have been using it for a long time and who work in the R&D. So in that case, they already know what they want. So the way in which you would do it for the two types would be different. In the first case, you would mostly focus on the tedious details like drying time or curing time or the temperature, etc. This would be related to the applications in which they want to use the coating. The second is, in this case, they would usually expect that they are already using, for example, polyurethane coating, and now they want to change it to a better one, or now they want to do something else with the polyurethane coating. In that case, they will have very specific requirements for the drying time and curing time and the mechanical properties. So those aspects they would, if they will already have fixed. In that case, then if you have two coatings which have the exact same or similar mechanical and physical properties, how do you actually differentiate between the two? Then you have to look at the chemistry. So a general polyurethane coating will have this as the backbone chain. So the NH and the C double bond O are the main significant bonds in a polyurethane coating. So in general, both of these will have these bonds. There's the whatever basic properties that they will have will be because of these bonds. Now the difference comes in the R. R is basically the backbone chain. So here it is the aliphatic and acrylic, and here it is the aromatic. It is this difference that will actually lead to the property changes that occur in these two coatings. So now let's take a look at the reaction. a very simple way to get through the confusion of the letters is to look at the bonds. So you have the OH and here you have the CO. When you combine the two parts, the reaction gives you this NH and CO bonds that you need. So now you have the backbone chain formed because of these two. It will happen in all the polyurethane chains. The difference will come in this R1 and R2. In the first case, that is acrylic aliphatic, the acrylic will have this kind of additional bonding, and this will be connected to the R chain. So that's an additional bond. Aliphatic means it will have a combination of CH2, CH2, CH2. So when you have only aliphatic, the R1 will be only this. When you have acrylic and aliphatic, the acrylic will be connected to C, and this will be repeated in several places. So now the total number of C and H bonds, or the total number of bonds that an acrylic aliphatic will have, it's a lot more than just the aliphatic. Now when you have aromatic, you basically have this benzene ring. Benzene ring has very different properties as compared to the aliphatic, and this change in the chemical structure will give you the two different properties, because the way in which these chains in which these molecules form the polymer chains and in which way these polymer chains will interact with each other decides the density and the resistance to the moisture penetration. It will also decide the further chemical resistance and mechanical properties. As a result, this R1 and R2 are really important in deciding the type of polyurethane for each application. So when you are looking to say that okay, we recommend that you use the aliphatic acrylic polyurethane coating, you probably should go in a little bit of detail to actually explain why you think it is good. If you use this such kind of basics, not very detailed, but at least such kind of basics to show that okay, you'll have bigger polymer chains or you'll have a better density, then there is a better chance of the customer understanding your selection. It is also necessary to show that okay, we are giving you two options for polyurethane coating. One of this has this kind of chemical structure properties, the other hand has a different chemical structure and properties, and if you have a certain application that will go only up to a certain temperature, then this chemical structure works better. If you want to go beyond a certain temperature, then this chemical structure will work better. So such kind of differentiation would convince the customer that okay, this person really knows what he is doing, and this person really knows what they are trying to sell. So the properties that they get, or if we want to do some modifications, you can have some kind of discussion that this is much better for your application. So that this is a way to actually begin your work. It may look confusing if you start by memorizing these reactions. It is really impossible to remember them unless you already have some kind of background. Otherwise you have to look at these kind of significant bonds and then see what changes the R1 and R2 have undergone. So that's how you can actually go about it. So that's all for this video. Please do get in touch with me for more discussion. Thank you.